Sunshine.
Yo, what's up YouTube? Charizma here, and boy have I been looking forward to this. The people have chosen, so today's video shall indeed be about Naruto Part 1. The endings, that is, because, I've already ranked the openings in this video here. Go check it out for your boy, please. Help me get that video to 20,000 views. We're almost there, man. But yeah, this was probably the most fun that I think I've ever had preparing for a video since I started this whole worst to best series. I haven't made an actual list yet, but Naruto Part 1 is definitely in my top 10 anime of all time. Hot take, if someone put a gun to my head and told me to pick one Naruto series to keep while the others got sent to the Shadow Realm or something, I would say Part 1 Naruto, easy. Chalk it up to 15 plus years of nostalgia or whatever. I absolutely love the music from Part 1, that's for sure. And that love begins with the openings and the endings. Now there's 15 endings in total from Part 1, and what a trip down memory lane it was watching all of these endings again. Cue the meme of back when Naruto was all about strategy and ninja shit instead of gods and DBZ explosions. Yeah. Now for any new viewers watching this, the 4 guidelines that I use to judge these lists are music, artistic direction, plot relevance, and the almighty nostalgia factor. Though I will say that the art and animation here might not matter that much because all of these endings are from the early 2000s when things were a lot more tame, for lack of a better word. I'm gonna say spoiler alert, even though the series is over 20 years old, but there's always that one guy out there, you know? Don't say I didn't warn you, alright? It's Naruto. How haven't you seen it yet? So yeah, let's get started with That was terrible. So yeah, let's get started with every Naruto Part 1 ending ranked from worst to best. Believe it! Number 15. So, I'm just gonna get straight to the core with this one here. This ending has tons of nostalgia for me, obviously. It's only the second ending for the series, so like, Chunin exams, Orochimaru manipulating Sasuke's mind, Hinata versus Neji, and Rock Lee versus Gaara. Classic content, of course. Not just for early Naruto, but all of Naruto. However, this ending is kind of all about the drop for me. Specifically the first 10 seconds of the ending, the section of the song y'all probably heard before I started talking over it. That's the best part of the ending for me. It's just such a callback to my earliest memories of watching the Japanese dub of Naruto almost a decade ago. After that, the ending kind of peters off, to be honest. The majority of the early Naruto endings stuck with these still shots and minor loop animations, which is cool and all, so it honestly wouldn't be fair of me to take points away here because of it. But if that's indeed the case, then the music has to be so fire that these chibi versions of Sakura and Ino can keep me entertained. Harmonia is cool, but it's just not enough as a song. Great for nostalgia, and the colorful backgrounds and the borders in this ending are enjoyable enough as it is, but when it comes down to it, man, the rest of these endings on this list to me are just easily playlistable, I guess. Harmonia, not so much. It's a great song. Again, the first 10 seconds are absolutely goated, but I would comfortably say it's my least favorite song on this list. Number 14.
I believe your promise is too hard to kill me. College always I feel it.
Alright, so like on some totally non-creep shit, the artwork in this ending is fantastic. We get 5 separate images of a beach at different points in the day, featuring characters like Pakun, Sakura, Ino, Hinata, and hey yo, who is this? Hold on. I've watched this ending like multiple times and I still can't figure out who this is. She must be a filler character or something. Oh, that's supposed to be Tenten? All these years I've been following Naruto and I don't think I've ever seen her with her hair down like this, or braided like this, I guess. All this time I've been thinking to myself like, man, what is Megumi from Shokugeki no Soma doing in a Naruto ending? Anyways, you just gotta appreciate the watercolor style shading here in these images. Or maybe it's more like marker style. Regardless, The skin especially pops in this ending, showcasing a bunch of natural tones and lighting provided by the sun and/or moon. I just love how the color gradually fills itself in, and Meteor by Tia is a bop as well, playing in the background for all of this. I guess the ending as a whole ranks this low because I don't really remember it, and I mean it's rather pleasant looking back on it for the purposes of a video like this, but there still isn't anything here that really grabs me, you know? I love the Tsunade arc though. I've always thought it was underrated, but I can't apply my nostalgia points here because all of that nostalgia is from the English dub, which on Toonami, instead of actual endings, had 30-second slideshows instead. There's all of that, and then the fact that the songs honestly just get better from here, if I do say so myself. Number 13. Like I said already, this list is going to be very heavily ranked by music more than anything else. This ending is literally just one scene. One over-the-shoulder camera shot slowly zooming in on Naruto staring at the Hokage stone faces and the rest of the village, all grayed out with the foreground, including Naruto himself, sepiaed out as to give a nice contrast. We get a few birds and some movement in the clouds and a little bit of sunlight animation, but that's pretty much all the movement we get in this ending, besides the zooming out of the camera, of course. If we take away the music, then this ending is so boring. One of the least inspired things I think I've ever seen in my life, and I've experienced the depths of Naruto's filler hell. But that's ultimately my point here. The music goes a long way if it's as good as Alive by Raiko. Not my favorite song from the series or anything, but still good enough to get me to sing along to it every time I hear it. In fact, before I started recording this, the song was stuck in my head. The chorus is very catchy to me, and similar to Harmonia, the first 10 seconds of this ending stirs up so many memories of the conclusion to the Chunin exams. Seeing Hiruzen in all of his greatness before somehow the entire fandom transformed him from everyone's pop into the most disrespected Hokage of all time. And of course, Naruto vs. Gaara, where one of the first Talk no Jutsus was used on Gaara and just completely neutered him for the rest of the series pretty much. What happened to my boy, man? What happened to my boy? The music takes up for pretty much 90% of all of the enjoyment that I get out of this ending, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does hold this ending back in 13th place because goddamn are the visuals in this ending so boring. Number 12. It's a bunch of shinobi and dog costumes. What else do you want me to say? I don't have a pet right now personally, but I'm pretty sure this is a top 5 ending for most dog lovers out there. Overall, this is just a real silly and inoffensive ending. The background patterns are wild and crazy, you know? Colorful enough to at least keep your attention. I love the scene of the rising sun in the beginning, by the way, for obvious reasons. And yeah, we see a lot of the other shinobi and dog costumes towards the end. Naruto gets peed on by Pakun and Akamaru, and I really enjoy how Naruto's little march here syncs up with the music as well. The ending is fun, that's all I can say, but I never thought the song fit, you know? Don't get me wrong. The ending still worked because Parade is still a great song by itself and doggies, but the second version of this ending presents a way better tone that complements Parade by Chaba a lot more in my opinion. This one focuses solely on Sakura and this metallic zero gravity leaf that totally looks like it was rendered in the early 2000s. I like to think of this ending as a metaphor for Sakura waiting up for Sasuke, you know? Especially when we see her interacting with this cluster of sparkles towards the end. I see this as somewhat of a visage of Sasuke, or at least a manifestation of the will of fire telling her to not lose hope and all that good shit. But then the ending ties it all together by having Sakura wake up at the end, revealing that the entire ending was just a dream. Beautiful. Almost like a mini movie of sorts, similar to the By My Side ending from Shippuden, without all the fancy animation, of course. I'm still debating whether or not to move this ending up on the list, but this is unfortunately from that post Final Valley filler black hole that nobody remembers. so it probably doesn't ring a bell to a lot of people, but Chaba definitely did their thing here with the music, I can say that. And once again, the doggies. Number 11. Unfortunately, another ending that I don't have any memories of because the last 90 episodes of Naruto is 35 hours of my life that I'll never get back. But this ending is a nice little wrap up to pre-time skip Naruto, I must say. Not the ideal song for the end to part 1, in my opinion, we'll get to it later, but there's definitely nothing wrong with the scenario. I guess it sounds more like an opening than an ending. The visuals would have to be spruced up a little, but this ending feels a lot more like Shippuden Opening 0 instead of the final ending for part 1, especially because of this little sneak peek of Naruto post time skip that we see here running in a field with a beautiful sunset in the background. You gotta love it. My favorite section of the song though is when we get these images of Gaara, Kankuro, Tamari, and Team 7. The drums for this section are absolutely smashing. Smashing, my good man. But speaking of those images, Jiraiya, Kakashi, and Iruka, Naruto's 3 senseis, Team 10, Team Guy, Team 8, and the aforementioned Team Gaara and Team 7 fill up the majority of this ending, with each character panning across the screen individually, and it's cool, sure, it's standard. Some of the character art here is Sakura's face here, you know? But it is still nice to see the entire core cast of characters all together one last time before Shippuden forgot about most of them and killed 2 of them. Well, technically 3 of them. It's still a very simple, very part 1 style ending, but it does have a lot more visual flair than most of the endings here, and does have a sentimental edge over any of the previous endings marking the end of the original anime series. Number 10. This ending right here, man. Well, could you believe I had it in last place at first? Right? How dare I? The first time I watched this ending, I thought it was slow as hell, dreadfully boring. I didn't really care for the art style. It reminded me a lot of the Sanao Naniji ending from Shippuden. I was disrespecting the fuck out of this ending until one fateful night, I don't know, maybe the red wine hit me just right that night. Yes, I'm a wine guy, what of it? On that night, I realized just how insanely great this song is, and ever since then, I've been absolutely obsessed with it. The visuals here still don't blow me away, you know? I see what the studio was going for with making the background look like canvas fabric of sorts, but I'm sorry, it doesn't really do anything for me. The character images aren't that bad though. My absolute favorite image here is the one of Choji, Naruto, Shikamaru, and Kiba. The gang all laughing and embracing each other, and during this part the ending song absolutely slaps in the background, let me tell you. My god, man, what did Shippuden do to my guys, man? Where did it all go so wrong? Choji and Shikamaru at least got a moment after the time skip, both involving Asuma Sensei, but goddamn, Kiba, no, you did not deserve to get shafted like that, my boy. Kiba and Rock Lee. Kiba and Rock Lee are the Yamcha and Ten Shinhan of Naruto. Oh my god, it's such a shame. Yeah, this ending just makes me miss the old days, man. It makes me miss being 10 years old, watching Sakon and Ukon struggle against the absolute Chad that is pre-time skip Kiba, the child of prophecy for the Inuzuka clan. Yep, that's right. Kiba, why? Why did they do this to you? Number 9. Yeah, I just think about the Naruto and Sasuke battle whenever I watch this ending, to be honest. So off bat, this ending has a nice chunk of nostalgia points on the board. I also really enjoy how dark this ending is, literally. The scenes of Naruto and Sakura alone on this rowboat in the middle of a lake/river at night are amazing, especially when watching it at night in the real world. The boat and the forest behind them being colored pitch black really adds to the feelings of lonesomeness and anguish that Naruto and Sakura have been feeling ever since Sasuke left the village with the Sound Ninja 4. Basically, this ending puts a disappointing and slightly demoralizing period on the Sasuke retrieval arc. Hearing this ending right after Kakashi carries away a defeated Naruto, still kind of processing the major left turn that the series took after the Tsunade arc, now having to deal with the possibility of Sasuke being gone forever, yeah, it left me totally dissatisfied with everything going on here, but in the best way possible. Especially for younger me who thought that this was the end of the story full stop before Shippuden. This ending kinda reminds me of the credits of Avengers Infinity War actually. That whole feeling of, like, this can't possibly be the way that it ends, can it? I wanted more. I wanted Naruto and Sasuke to settle their differences, you know? I wanted them to reunite and then lose the two people closest to them, and then reunite again, and then fight God. I wanted Shippuden, basically. But back over a decade ago, this is what I was left with, because I wasn't willing to sit through all that filler, bruh. Even though some of the endings from that time are absolutely fire, as you'll see if you just keep watching. So in some senses, this ending represents the end to the original Naruto anime for me. The song hits, the mood is right, and although these water ripples in the beginning look like shit, this was still the early 2000s after all, no matter how you slice it, this is the perfect theme song for Naruto's and Sasuke's first clash at the final volley. We just wanted Sasuke to come home, man. That was it. That was it. We just wanted Team 7 back together. But no. I need power to destroy my brother and whatever. And then Itachi turned out to be like the second coming of Jesus. Oh wait, that's Naruto. Uchiha Jesus, that's Itachi. Number 8. Now, these are the types of endings that I tend to enjoy the most, you know? The ones with all the artistic liberties being exercised, where random storyboarders and animators come together to create these little extra pieces of content meant to be wacky and playful takes on the main series. For the first half of this ending, we see Naruto living his average life, you know? Honestly, the dream life of most 13-year-old boys like him. Just reading manga, playing video games, and eating ramen all day. Until the chorus comes in, which is when Naruto leaves his house and sprints through all of Konoha, off to be a ninja and whatnot. I really enjoy how a different scene of Naruto running plays every time the chorus comes back to start again. It's great. And also how Naruto fumbles around the village, eventually growing exhausted and then deciding to take a rest in the sun instead. Fuck being a ninja. Who cares? Who cares about being Hokage? And I see what the studio was going for here, you know, finally having the sun come out after having it rain for the entire ending, which is the main reason why Naruto was stuck in the house in the first place. But if I'm being honest here, the rays from the sun kind of makes it look like a golden shower to me. If you don't know what that is, don't Google it, and definitely don't Urban Dictionary it. But yeah, I really enjoy the simplicity in this ending, I guess. The doodle style animation here is always fun to watch, especially with all of these pulsating outlines here, much like you would see in a cartoon like Ed, Edd n Eddy. A very fun ending, and yet another prime example of these endings being way too good for the non-canon episodes that they were used for, man. All of these episodes, what number? What, 142 to 153? Yep, I could not tell you what happened. I have no idea. Number 7. Back to the canon endings for a minute, and I fucking love this ending, man. From 7 on up, these are some of my favorite songs in all of Naruto, including the openings, and Much like the speed ending I just discussed, this ending is another wicked fun time. Not necessarily for how it looks, but it's a really fun listen, that's for sure. The first time I spoke with you perfectly encapsulates the youthful spirit of early Naruto, before he became all emo in an outright divine reincarnation, when he was still just a bumbling fool with the whole world opposing him, standing defiant with 2 middle fingers in the air like, bitch, I'ma just sexy jutsu my way to becoming Hokage. Believe it, the visual ending isn't much, it's just a loop animation of Naruto running, sometimes silhouette, sometimes not, with a few wacky background patterns and some select Polaroid style images of various moments involving the genin around the hidden leaf. Sakura and Ino enjoying their flowers, Boruto's mom plotting on how to start a sequel series, Choji, Shikamaru, and Naruto empathizing with Sasuke all float across the screen as actual photographs, and with any other song, this ending could easily be average and uninspired, but like I said earlier, it doesn't really matter how basic the ending is if the music can keep my attention long enough. Long story short, the first time I spoke with you is one of the ending songs that I first thought about when making this list. It's catchy, wacky, and is full of the spirit of early Naruto. Honestly, the only thing holding this ending back is the over-reliance on this running animation of Naruto. They could have added something else here, even if it's just a few more characters with the same animation. You know, it would have been nice to see a version of this ending with Choji, Shikamaru, Neji, and Kiba running with Naruto as well, symbolizing the Sasuke rescue mission, but regardless, the song here is top 10 just by itself, even with a blank screen and no animation whatsoever. Number 6. Another one of those endings that could have been an opening, to be honest. Many times before by the Mass Missile sounds like the type of song you would play while heading into a championship game, you know, against a longtime rival team, or even during a climactic battle of sorts towards the end of a long and arduous war. The chorus to this song sounds almost like a rally cry for a huge group of individuals, each looking for that final boost in morale to help them persevere through the home stretch of whatever conflict or contest that they might be in. I love it. The scene of all the genins staring at the sunset over the horizon sends goosebumps up my arm every time I see it. And for as good as this ending is musically, visually it's one of the best from Part 1 Naruto as well. It starts off with a beautiful sunset that looks like this, so you already know what we're in for with these colors and shit. This scene of Naruto all by himself under the starry sky is just clean as fuck, man. Eventually, the rest of Team 7 comes to cheer him up, followed by all of the other Leaf Genin, including Lee on his crutches. The dawn of a new day begins, and from here on out, this ending is pretty much just a final tribute of sorts for all of the Genin that we've come to know and love just before Sasuke went AWOL and fucked everything up. Everybody here looking clean as hell, and I also enjoy how the different camera shots fade into one another too. In some ways, this ending serves as a closure of sorts to the first section of Naruto, just in time for the Akatsuki, or I guess more specifically, the Uchiha, to take the series down a much darker path. Number 5. Man, why do I think about Your Name when I hear this ending? This really sounds like one of the songs off the Your Name soundtrack. Even though it's always Suntime, ironically, one of my absolute favorite endings here is Yellow Moon. It's such an early 2000s ending. I mean, just look at all of the flip phones. My first cell phone was the Virgin Mobile Marble phone in 2008, and on it I would just type up as many Naruto characters and jutsu that I could remember into empty text message drafts, and yes, I know I was so cool, such a Chad. But back to the ending, and like I was saying, this ending is just really gloomy, but with slightly uplifting undertones. This is one of those endings that immediately grabs your attention. Between the piano, everything being grayed out here besides the moon, these fade to black scenes of Tenten, Ino, Hinata, and Sakura, you better not ever skip this ending if I'm in the room. This is one of those endings that I always tell myself I'm only going to watch a few seconds of before I get to the next episode, and then I end up not being able to take my eyes off of it. The animation here isn't breathtaking by any means, A huge section of this ending is just side-scrolling and translucent images of Naruto and all of his peers and teachers, but the overall tone here, and more significantly, the song in this ending, makes Yellow Moon practically unskippable for me. As for the more highbrow side of my tastes, I guess, this is a masterpiece of an ending as far as I'm concerned. Number 4. Oh nostalgia, oh nostalgia. I feel like most of this video has just been me wallowing in the cold and cruel realization that I'm not as young as I used to be. And I'm sorry if you just got into Naruto last year or something, but look man, every time I hear this ending, I'm just immediately thrust back to the finals of the Chunin exams. When I was like 10, 11 years old, bruh. It was amazing. Sasuke versus Gaara and Naruto versus Neji are still top tier battles from part 1 Naruto, although that Neji fight hasn't really aged too well, what with that whole argument over destiny and whatnot. Neji was right! Once again, this ending is not about the visuals, even though I do enjoy all these chibi versions of the characters. The majority of this ending is just watching them march across the screen with the credits placed above them on top of a solid green background. The still shots of Naruto and Konohamaru, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi in the middle are great. The art style here is pretty fun, and seeing a partially unmasked Kakashi, I'm sure, set the anime forums ablaze back in the day, but the biggest reason why this ending broke into my top 5 is down to the legends themselves, Orange Range. Go watch my Bleach video if you want my full opinion on them, but I think it's fairly obvious what I think of them just by how I rank this song. The Viva Rock has with it all of the silliness of other endings like Speed and The First Time I Spoke With You, but the slightly lethargic instrumentation and vocal performance here makes it much more my style, if you will. I love that barely trying sound, you know? It sounds real knuckleheadish, just like Naruto. Orange Range just can't miss with me, to be honest. Their album, Natural, is amazing. Go listen to it right now. Number 3. The Jitensha ending from Naruto Shippuden is wholesome and all, but it has nothing on the Pinocchio ending from part 1. Another really underrated ending because this is from deep into the post-Final Valley filler section of the anime. It's the second to last ending after all, but Ore Ska Band just makes such fun music, man. What do you want me to do? On my Shippuden ending list, Jitensha was at least in the top half of that list, and Ore Ska Band did it again. This time with a top 3 ending in my eyes. This was how I fell in love with the band after all. I don't think I've ever seen a part 1 Naruto episode after 150 that wasn't the final episode, but I've always been aware of this ending here, because for the longest time I'd always thought that this was the final ending. Maybe someone mistitled or clickbaited a video back in the day that led me to believe this, or maybe it's the way that the credits are scrolling up on the side of the video that makes it look like the credits at the end of a movie. Doesn't really matter. All I know is that this should have been the last ending instead of scenario. It sounds like a celebration of the series pretty much. If Naruto, as the Hokage, ever held a parade in Konoha one day, I can totally see a song like this playing as a background to all of the festivities. It's not a serious ending by any means. The majority of it is just Naruto fucking around with Gamakichi and Best Toad Gamatatsu, with the rest of the Konoha pets, Tantan, Akamaru, and Pakun joining in at the end to help sing along with the song, and yeah, this is all just wholesome entertainment. And I'm still wondering if I should raise it higher, to be honest, but unfortunately, I just can't. My top 2 endings are pretty much just as great as Pinocchio in song and in concept, but both of them are canon, and that gives them an edge, to be honest. Number 2. Oh my gosh, this ending is absolutely incredible, bruh. Easily one of the most recognizable anime songs that I can recognize. The first time in a while that I'd heard this ending in preparation for this video, you would have thought that I was under a genjutsu or something. The way that Mountain of Go-Go 2 just took full control of my body once those vocals came in. Pause? Not just that, but this ending even looks like a genjutsu too. Watching all of the series memories get swallowed up to summon this image of Naruto holding his kunai, all of the trippy patterns playing in the shadowy areas of every one of these multiple images that we see, the different color gradients varying from scene to scene. I absolutely love the psychedelic aesthetic to this ending. It matches that 70s style rock sound here wonderfully, and even without the music, is still a very fun ending to just let your eyes get transfixed by. And by the way, pretty much everyone is in this ending. Every main player in each of the arcs up until now, that is. Jiraiya, Rock Lee, Neji, Shikamaru, the 3rd and 5th Hokage, Gaara, Orochimaru, and Kabuto, Itachi, Haku, and a salute to the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist by having Kisame and Zabuza near each other. Everyone is on full display here in all of this pseudo 70s greatness. Yeah, this ending just looks fantastic. It's one of the few that I can just drop what I'm doing and sing on cue anywhere, and it comes at probably my most rewatched section of the series. The beginning of the Sasuke rescue arc and the initial battles against the Sound Ninja 4. Neji versus Kidomaru is goated, bruh. Oh, it's so goated. If this list and my Shippuden list were combined like they were supposed to be originally, then this ending would probably still rank in my top 10. Yes, it's that good, and ultimately, this song just feels so Naruto. Am I wrong? And that brings us to number 1. Oh, what could it be? I don't know how many times I've rewatched Naruto. It's gotta be more than 5. At least part 1 Naruto, that is. But it's endings like this that help me never forget what it was like to be a fresh Naruto fan during the late 2000s. There's a reason why I was such a Naruto stan as a kid. No, not even a fan, a stan. When it comes to the big 3, I was always vaguely aware of One Piece and Bleach, you know, growing up. But Naruto was the series that I actually grew up with. And I think a large part of the reason for that has to do with Naruto's backstory and introduction. The overall execution and endgame of all of this is a different topic, so let's just ignore that for now. But here we have a child born out of a great catastrophe, which devastated his homeland and cost him the lives of both of his parents just to end it. Then he gets shunned by society for containing a demon spirit which he had no control in obtaining. The same demon spirit responsible for his parents' death, and he's a delinquent? Now, I might love Bleach and One Piece more than Naruto now in 2021, but in terms of introductions, a high school student that can see ghosts and anime Pirates of the Caribbean got nothing on Naruto. And I love the first episode of One Piece. To get back to the ending though, a huge reason why Wind is the best to me is because this ending tells that story. We begin with various shots of Naruto and his surroundings, including the infamous swing set, until the verse begins where we see Naruto isolated from the rest of his class at the academy. Afterwards, we see him running away, trying to escape all of these mixed emotions that he's feeling, and Akeboshi during this section of the song is just killing, bro. Naruto keeps running until he trips and falls flat on his face. From there, he just lays in the grass, sulking, until Sakura and Sasuke approach him. And the art throughout this ending is amazing, but specifically here, the grass, Naruto's eyes, it's all just so sublime. And seeing Team 7 together like this almost a decade after Naruto ended as a series almost brings a tear to my eye, man. The first time I met Sakura in episode 3, I fucking hated her, and it took her a long time to redeem herself, but by the time we get to the war arc, you know, she's not so bad. And then Naruto and Sasuke's tree training will always be one of my favorite moments from the series that isn't a battle or a speech. Yeah, this is a masterpiece, and I haven't even really spoken about the song yet, but let's be real, you don't need to hear me talking about it. Just go listen to it. You could say that this ending is the reason why I've been looking forward to this list for so long. It's the one that I wanted to review the most because I've always thought it was kind of underrated in the grand scheme of Naruto themes. It's endings like Wind that makes you fall in love with the series for 15 plus years, you know? So much so that I feel like I'm out here taking all of the arrows of hatred for Boruto. Literally, I've been caping for this series for like 3 years now. It's not really that bad of a series, guys, I promise. It's like Gintama. You just gotta skip around a little bit, but there's some great shit in there. And that was every Naruto Part 1 ending, ranked from worst to best. You guys already know the deal. Let me know in the comment section below how wrong I was, or how bad my tastes are, or whatever helps you sleep at night. You know, leave below like a top 10 or a top 5 of what your favorite OPs, of what your favorite endings are. Give me any general Naruto memories that you might have. Shout out to all my people that grew up with Naruto just like me. You know what I'm saying? We're a dying breed. I got kids walking up to me that are just now getting into Naruto, and then I got kids that are like what is this Naruto thing? It's my hero, All Might, Deku, United States of Smash, stuff like that, right? So it's a new generation, man. What can you say? Yeah, I'm out. Leave a like if I'm all right. Subscribe, please, because I'm broke. Share the video. Help me get to 2,000 subscribers, please. I'm just trying to be great, man. Just help me live my best life, all right? The next video after this one will be the Gintama video. It will probably be my first hour-plus long video since the other Naruto video from earlier this year, all the endings from Shippuden. So be on the lookout for the next video. Every Gintama opening ranked from worst to best. And until then, I'm out. See you guys in the next one. Go watch some more videos. I'm out. Sun time. Fahrenheit is going up. TNT, we blowing up. Shit has really got me thinking. If I want to make it out my 20s, then I should probably sober up. Charisma.
Need to sober up.